The sky over the southern Dead Sea turned black in the middle of the day. Then came the fire. Not lightning, something that fell from above, again and again, until an entire valley of cities simply stopped existing. Thousands of years later, archaeologists digging in the scorched earth of Jordan would find human remains fused into ash, pottery melted at temperatures no ordinary fire could reach, and an entire city buried under a layer of destruction so total that some scientists now believe it wasn't just a legend. It may have been the record of a real catastrophe, one written in stone, ash, and bone. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. For thousands of years, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah has been treated as a moral fable. Two wicked cities, destroyed by fire from heaven, wiped so completely off the map that even their location became a mystery. Scholars debated it for centuries. Was it allegory? Was it myth borrowed from older Mesopotamian flood stories? Or was it something else entirely? A memory, passed down through generations, of something that actually happened on a specific patch of earth. For a long time, the leading theory placed Sodom and Gomorrah somewhere beneath the southern basin of the Dead Sea, the shallow end near modern Jordan, now submerged under water and salt. It made a kind of poetic sense. A wicked city swallowed by the earth, hidden forever beneath still water. But there was a problem. No excavation could reach it. No proof could be found. The theory stayed exactly that. A theory, resting quietly at the bottom of a sea no one could search. Then, in the early 2000s, an archaeologist named Stephen Collins proposed something that would upend the entire debate. He argued that everyone had been looking in the wrong place. Not underwater, not lost, sitting in plain sight, on dry land, in a place called Tal el-Hammam, in the eastern Jordan Valley. The team began digging, and what came out of the ground made even skeptics pause. Tal el-Hammam turned out to be enormous, by far the largest Bronze Age city ever discovered east of the Jordan River. Massive walls, towering ramparts, a civilization that once controlled the region for over 1,000 years, home to tens of thousands of people at its peak. This wasn't some forgotten village. This was, by every archaeological measure, the most powerful city in the entire region. And then, abruptly, around 1650 BC, it vanished. Not slowly, not through war or famine, in an instant. Layers of ash, pottery shards with their outer surfaces melted into glass, something that typically requires heat exceeding 1,500 degrees Celsius. Hotter than a volcanic eruption, hotter than almost anything achievable by human fire in the Bronze Age. Human bones scattered on rooftops, the skeletal remains showing signs consistent with an explosive, high-heat event rather than a slow-burning fire. Mudbrick walls vitrified, turned to glass on the outside, while remaining brick on the inside. A transformation scientists say only happens under extreme, near-instantaneous thermal shock. Something happened at Tal el-Hammam that ended not just a city, but every trace of life across the entire region for centuries. Following the destruction layer, the surrounding farmland shows a strange absence of settlement, as if the land itself had been poisoned, unable to support agriculture for 30 generations. In 2021, a team of scientists published research suggesting a possible cause, a cosmic airburst, a meteor similar in scale to the Tunguska event that flattened 2,000 square kilometers of Siberian forest in 1908, exploding in the atmosphere above the Jordan Valley, raining fire down without ever needing to touch the ground. Picture it, a city at its height. Streets full of merchants, children, soldiers on the walls. No siege, no warning drums, just a flash brighter than the sun, and then a shockwave that flattened walls built to withstand armies. Salt from the Dead Sea, flung into the air by the blast, would have settled over the fields for miles, and could explain why nothing grew there again for centuries. It's the kind of destruction that doesn't just end a city, it ends a memory of what was normal, replacing it with a story people told their children for generations afterward. A warning passed mouth to mouth until someone, somewhere, wrote it down. Not everyone agrees this is Sodom. Some scholars argue the timeline doesn't perfectly align with when the biblical narrative is traditionally dated. Others say identifying any single site with total certainty, using evidence this fragmentary, is scientifically premature. The debate is far from settled, and probably will be for years to come. But here's what makes this different from every theory before it. For the first time, there's a real city, real ash, real glass, real bones, a destruction layer so violent that even researchers with no religious motivation were forced to ask the same question ancient scribes once answered, with fire from heaven, what could possibly do this? Maybe it was judgment, maybe it was chance, the universe randomly aiming a piece of rock at exactly the wrong place, at exactly the wrong time. Or maybe, standing in that ash layer thousands of years later, the line between the two starts to blur, because somewhere beneath that Jordanian plain, a city that once ruled its entire region ended in less time than it takes to read this sentence. And whether you call it myth, memory, or history, something happened there, something the earth still remembers, long after everyone who witnessed it turned to ash and silence.